Hello, Lennart. Welcome again. How are you doing today?
Just fine, thanks. Everything is just fine. Perfect.
Glad to hear that. And thank you for accepting the invitation to be our guest once again in the SPM interview series with experts. Again, when we touch upon various topics that are related to strategic portfolio management. And today we will talk about the innovation and digitalization, really. So you've been dealing with innovation probably for most of your professional career. So the first question I would have for you is, how do you think, what is the main reason really why innovation has become so important for pretty much every organization today? I mean, from small startup to large enterprise companies.
Mm-hmm. I think that, in fact, this has been a key issue now for many years, at least 10 or 15, 20, depends on who you ask. But I think it will just continue, and there are some reasons for that. Still, innovation is sometimes very much just incremental, smaller steps, but everyone is looking for more radical steps and taking bigger steps. And then you don't just fine-tune some small processes, you have to think pretty big. So you don't only talk about products, but you also talk about how can we change the collaboration model, the co-creation with other people, new business models. So there is innovation in a broad aspect. And we also know that competition is much more global today than it was 10, 20 years ago. Digitalization has supported this change. And we know that companies like Fortune 500s that last for 50, 60 years, some decades ago, they only last for something like 15, 18 years nowadays. So things are speeding up very much. So the speed in change is so important. So most people know what to do, but the big question is how to do it. And when things get complex, we know that digitalization typically can help out because it's not so easy to do things manually all the time when it gets very complex.
Right. So clearly, as you mentioned, and this is very important, that let's call it a lifespan of an organization is much, much shorter today. It used to be maybe like 50 years. And now it's something about 15 because business models they get outdated so quickly, and there is so much of global competition out there that organizations cannot really afford not to be innovative. And as you said, digitalization can help. So digitalization probably in a sense of toolings and systems and processes. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that, please?
Yeah, I think that we are just not used yet to use digitalization for strategic decision making and prioritization. We are so used to computers and digitalization in other areas. I mean, finance, we know from decades. Operation, which is very complex with supply chain and sales and marketing and manufacturing, we know also for decades we are using these enterprise resource planning tools. It's so natural for us. Marketing and sales has expanded the last 20 years, and already 20 years ago companies like Salesforce.com started to bring in tools for assessing an opportunity, and everyone is using that now in a large organization. And then they have business intelligence, etc. But there's still not so much done yet regarding how do we make the right strategic decisions, choices. So that is still kind of new, but it's expanding right now. So that's what we think will be the next big phase in digitalization.
Absolutely. So it's this digital decision making and overall strategic thinking areas, they need to be digitalized as well. As you mentioned, the other areas have been digitalized so time ago already, like the operations, sales with CRM, ERP systems that we know for so many years now, which is great insights. And now to my last point, you've mentioned co-creation, collaboration, especially like the co-creation word. But you've also mentioned the how and the what. This reminds me a bit of the Simon Sinek and his idea of the golden circle. So let's maybe not talk about the why that much now, but let's focus on the how. How do you think companies can get prepared for what's coming and how they can go about, you know, this digitalization aspect in the strategic decision making?
Yeah. I mean, companies are today, mid-sized, large companies, all kind of companies are relying very much on the traditional tools, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, etc. And that works pretty well if you take a look on one project. You get the finance, you get the idea, the individual idea, new idea, an initiative, a project. So then it works pretty well. But if you have 50 projects or 100 projects or 200 projects or more, it is not enough just to take a look on one initiative. So you need to take a look on the portfolio, and you must be able to get a holistic view of it. So what people are looking for is, of course, to get something that you can get the financial information, and you want to stress test it because you know the world is changing quite fast right now. The last couple of years, we know that. So financials, yes. Stress testing, yes. But you also want to combine it with a strategic fit. Is it a good strategically? Is it low or higher risk? And if you now start to get a picture of this that is easy to understand, you get a 360-degree view of the idea, the initiative, the project, but you want to get the portfolio view as well. And when you come to portfolio, you will be totally dependent on new kind of tools that can help you to get 360-degree view, not only on the project, but on the portfolio. So if you can do this, you can get better quality, more speed, but also you will not be so dependent on the C-level manager, etc., always participating or judging. Because if you get a good tool that help you, like a CRM system, more people can get involved and engaged or take a bigger role in the decision process. And I think this is the key thing, to get the decision making down into organization if you have a good tool helping you to do that.
Absolutely, and this is a great takeaway, I guess, for our listeners, that that is very well connected with this co-creation that you've mentioned. I mean, if you can empower employees to be innovative, if you can give them tools and systems so they know what to do and how to do it, they don't need to wait and rely on all these various steps in the decision-making process within an organization, but can be innovative themselves. That's even better. Lennart, it was a pleasure as always having you in our series. I'm sure we will continue that. Thank you for today, and I wish you have a great day.
Thank you very much, sir. Great talking to you. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.